So you found out you're pregnant, congratulations, but instead of feeling the glow that you were promised, you're feeling nauseous, anxious, and confused. Well, if that is the case, let me start by saying this right off the bat. There is nothing wrong with you. You are probably way more normal than you have any idea. Pregnancy hits you fast. One day you're just you, and then the next, all of a sudden, you are literally embarking on this insane journey, growing a whole new human being, and you are expected all of a sudden, especially as a first-time mom, to know what to eat, what not to eat, what to do, what not to do. And trust me, you're not the only one who is anxiously Googling things. And the pressure to make sure that you are doing exactly everything right all the time can be exhausting in itself. And trust me, pregnancy is exhausting enough on its own without any of the added stress. So I'm starting this new series on my channel called So You're Pregnant, What Now? Because I am also pregnant for the first time. And I don't know about you guys, but I would rather hear from someone who's not super experienced and hasn't been through all of the things sometimes. It's kind of like this in my head. Instead of talking to somebody who went to your college 5 years ago and took a professor's class and asking them how their experience was, I would rather ask someone who just took them a semester before what their experience was. And for me, I love to get advice from like my mother or her friends who have had a bunch of pregnancies, but are a little bit more removed. And I also really enjoy casual chats with my girlfriends who are literally in the thick of it with me right now. My sister-in-law literally just had her baby, and I was getting a debrief call with her last night because I was like, tell me what happened. Tell me what the game plan was, what helped, what did you do, what did it look like? My cousin went through this recently as well. And although I'm just a stranger on the internet to you also, this is my twist on that of I've not even given birth yet, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm learning as I'm in the thick of it. And we're gonna do it with no panic, in bite-sized little portions, and without overbuying everything. This is not a let me link everything and try to get you to buy all of the main influencer baby purchases. I just want to have a calm, honest conversation about what pregnancy is actually like, especially maybe some of the parts that people aren't as openly talking about. However, I do want to go ahead and clarify, this is going to be very PG. I am not going to be going into great detail about anything major like anatomy wise or anything, because I know that there are a lot of little children who watch my channel. If nothing else, it's my siblings, and I don't want to gross them out. So if you're worried about hearing all of that stuff, find someone else, find a doula, a midwife, an OB, someone. They have channels on here. This is a casual friendly chat. Okay, cool. Lesson number 1. Nausea can be crippling. One of the first things that you might find is that the nausea isn't just morning sickness, it's all the time sickness. And honestly, it can be quite brutal. For me personally, I was extremely nauseous from weeks 6 to 14. It was rough. When I say I was nauseous, I mean like it hit me hard, and I walked around with a fanny pack or a belt bag, whatever we're calling it these days, of cookies or crackers at all times, because if I would let my blood sugar drop, like remotely, I had to keep it consistently pretty even, because if I would let it drop, it would hit me and it would be too late very quickly, and I would be running to throw up. So that's advice number 1. If you have a lot of crippling nausea, get yourself some snacks, keep them around, and literally if you leave your house, keep them with you in a purse, a bag, some sort. My husband also carried around snacks for me because he was great, and I just could not go without them. And you know, it might not seem like the healthiest thing to be eating carbs constantly, but you know what, when you're fighting for your life, which I am convinced you will not know how brutal it is until you are in the thick of it, just trust me, you're gonna wanna have them. I did that, and then randomly something else that worked really well for me was the Go-Go applesauce packets. I still have some in my pantry because I didn't finish all of them. I got a big thing from Sam's, and I would carry that around, and then yeah, like the little mini cookie, graham cracker, Oreo, Chips Ahoy, and also made my day a little better because I have such a major sweet tooth. So at least I was nauseous, but I was getting cookies. So lesson number 2. Your world changes before your body does. First trimester can feel really strange because on the outside, You don't really look like anything's going on, yet your entire world has already been flipped upside down. You're kind of like going through it mentally and emotionally, trying to wrap your head around all of this, which we'll talk about that again in a second. You might think like, am I showing? Can people tell I'm pregnant? Are they gonna be able to pick up on these things that I'm acting weird? Probably not. First of all, probably not. Probably no one can tell, and you are just really, that's where your headspace is. But suddenly you are hyper-focused on the future, on your health, on your finances, on your body, on your relationships, and all of that, again, overwhelming. On the outside, again, you might look like you are totally just yourself. However, you might start to find that you are already feeling weaker, or that you don't totally feel like yourself, even though you look like yourself. It is a very strange disconnect, I would say, to wrap your head around that, as to like looking in the mirror, you still look exactly like yourself. However, the inside, the internal, just there's a lot going on change-wise. I'm just here to tell you, not necessarily every solution. I can't fix all of that for you. That's something I had to wrestle with myself, of that strange disconnect and that jarring feeling. I'm just here to tell you, like, friend to friend level, that is normal and you're not crazy for feeling that way. Lesson number 3, you can feel excited and terrified at the same time. We are great at multitasking over here. I hate to break it to you, but it is actually okay for you to feel multiple emotions at the same time. I think we learned this in Inside Out, at the end of Inside Out 1, you know, and they're like, are you gonna feel joy or sadness? And then they end up mixing the emotions into Riley's core memories. That is kind of actually what pregnancy feels like, because you can feel so grateful to be pregnant. You can feel so excited about this new journey, and you can also be scared out of your mind at the exact same time. It is possible. I've done it, and millions of other women have gone through it. Pregnancy does not mean that you are all of a sudden fearless. Actually, it can make you very fearful, because the stakes feel like they have been raised. You're not just concerned about you anymore, you are also concerned about your baby. Those mixed emotions are not a sign that you're not ready for this. They are a sign that you care very much, and that is a good thing. They also do not mean, this is a lie from Satan, that you will not be a good mother, that you're not a good mother, or you will not be a good mother in the future. Personally, I've already been through some of this, and I'm just gonna tell you right now that that is not true, okay? And I need you to just rebuke that notion that you feeling uncertain or any sort of way that you don't feel is like, I should be so joyful, I should be so excited, and I'm only allowed to feel these emotions because these are good emotions and these are bad emotions, and I'm kind of falling into like, oh, I'm feeling a little anxious, I'm feeling a little uncertain. That does not reflect on you as a mother or as a person in general. I need you to give yourself grace as you are embarking on, yes, this beautiful, but also this huge life-altering journey that you are now entering into. Lesson 4, keeping a life-changing secret, surprise, is hard. For many people, early pregnancy means a huge secret. Some people it doesn't. My cousin told everybody immediately. I got to find out like very quickly when she was pregnant. But for a lot of people, you are usually waiting until about maybe 12, 13, maybe 14 weeks, almost all the way through your entire first trimester before you start telling people majorly. I think my husband and I told my family, because they came to visit, at 12 weeks and his family at 13 weeks. Maybe it was like 10 and 11, it was something like that. But it still was me keeping a secret for a while, a major secret from the people that I love the most in this world, other than my husband. Of course, luckily he got to know and he got to hear all of the things that were going on in my head. So if you're not telling people until you get through the first trimester or until you're halfway through the first trimester, you're just like suffering in silence a little bit. Like you feel like you've got a stomach bug if you're like me, you like every single day. Fear and excitement and the identity shift. You might be feeling dizzy, you might be feeling weak, you might be feeling like, oh, I can't do certain things anymore. And you're just like keeping all of that inside of you, and you almost feel like you might explode not talking to people about it. Or it might not even be talking about those things. It might be just like the excitement of telling people, hey, I'm pregnant. I'm starting this awesome new thing, and like you would want to tell people that anyway. I'm a theater kid, so it's like me thinking like you got the lead in a show and you can't tell anybody for like the first few weeks of production. Like that would be so tragic. I almost just said something about if you got cast as the quarterback. That is my theater kid showing, okay? So if you're having a hard time not telling people, might I suggest if there's someone you can talk to, even if it's like removed, do that. Journal also to process some of those feelings. I don't have OBs, I have midwives, and so I didn't see them until 12 weeks. But I did come in, I think, to tour the place earlier on than that, and that was exciting to me to be like, hey, I'm pregnant. And like, I know they are used to hearing that all the time, but they were so sweet. And that felt great to me to be able to talk to somebody and be like, hey, I'm pregnant. Like I haven't even told my mother yet because I want to tell her in person when they came up. And so tell the mailman, tell your waitress, like they don't care. But for you, it might help you hold off if you're trying to keep that secret. Okay, and then finally for today, lesson number 5 is, sorry, I had to check my notes because I already forgot, which is ironic because it's pregnancy brain is real. See, that's why I'm saying it's just funny that I had to check my notes to see what it was, because my pregnant brain literally was like, wait, I know I looked at that 5 seconds ago, but I already forgot. Forgetfulness, brain fog, feeling scattered. It's real. It's real. It's not a made up thing by pregnant women to just like neglect your responsibilities. Your brain, I'm not going to get into the science of it. Look it up. Like it like literally shrinks. Like that's what I keep seeing. And it really feels real. And it's going to take a while to get back to normal, unfortunately, when this is all said and done. And this is why we're just like going to keep it light. We don't need to panic about it. We just might need to accept it. So if you're feeling like something is wrong with you, you're not alone. Okay, like that's again this whole conversation, you're not alone, sis. Okay, like we're all going through it. Well, everyone who's pregnant seems to be going through it anyway. You're not broken. Your body's just redirecting energy in ways that you have never experienced before. My best advice, use your phone. Okay, pull it out, keep a running to-do list so you remember the things to do, because if I don't write things down, I literally will not remember them. My husband will ask me to do something. This happened the other day, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll remember. Bold of me to assume that still in the 3rd trimester and that I haven't learned my lesson. Like I'm halfway through the 3rd trimester. I'm 34 weeks, by the way. So excited. And also still panicked at the same time because again, multitasking. But my husband asked me to do something and I assumed that I would remember it and I didn't. And so then I had to write it down and do it the next day because he asked me when we were going to bed and I was like, no, I didn't write it down. So to-do list, set alarms, leave notes for yourself around, and try to just surround yourself in general with people who are gracious to you and love you. But really during this time, be around people who are going to, they don't have to necessarily empathize with you. They can just sympathize and be kind, wonderful people. I have some friends up here that we like do a group with every 2 weeks. I'm usually like pretty locked in and competitive with games, but the amount of games that I have messed up or like said something out loud that I wasn't supposed to when we were like playing a game where you're like not supposed to say that thing is embarrassing. Like I really truly, and I just go, oh, pregnant brain, and have to move on, because if my competitive side gets too involved, then I won't be happy about it. And so I just have to keep moving on. It's fine. To sum up, if pregnancy feels harder than you thought it would right now, you're not doing anything wrong. You're not behind, you're not failing, you're just adapting. I really want that to be internalized, that you are going through an amazing, beautiful miracle of a change. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, probably financially. That is a lot to wrap your head around. So that's why we're doing bite-sized little chats like this. If you enjoyed this ground level intro to pregnancy class, give us a like and a subscribe maybe, but also tell me what you're thinking in the comments. If you're pregnant, feel free to tell me. I can be your stranger. Maybe don't, because then maybe you'll leave a digital footprint and someone might potentially see your comment. But I would love to know your thoughts so that I can bring you more episodes like this, because I really enjoyed this chat and I feel like this is something I was kind of searching for in my early pregnancy days. It was a casual chat type series like this. Like genuinely, I thought that there was kind of a void there, and I was like, this is something I've wanted to do throughout my pregnancy. So I am excited about this series. Tune in next time. We'll talk about 5 little lessons about what's actually going on with your body. Just random things as I think of them, as I'm like, hey, by the way, I learned this along the way. And remember, you don't need to panic, you don't need to overbuy, and you don't need to become a totally different person to have healthy mama, baby, and pregnancy. I'll see you guys in my next one. Mwah! Bye.